joining in wherever you're watching from. It's a weekend, and I want to say compliments of the weekend to you. And today's date is the 17th day, Saturday, 17th of February 2024. This is 24 minutes past 4 p.m. BIAFRA time. We came 6 minutes earlier than the time was scheduled. I want to welcome you guys, especially on this weekend. And I know that most of us are busy with our programs or doing one or other thing. But it's good to be here also to discuss and look at things that concerns us. We can't stop talking about ourselves, the wrongs, the rights, the things we need to do, and the charismatic approach to the things we need to do, especially to keep ourselves informed mentally and at the same time to keep ourselves reasoning properly and working in the precepts of constructive reasoning. It's very interesting when you have to always get yourself in conformity to truth and making sure that at all times, whatever you do is connected to the narrative of truth. That is why it is important that you access your actions every day, every moment, every time in life to make sure that you have not deviated. No wonder scripture says that let him that thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. That means you must always access, sorry, yes, assess, not access, assess what you do daily so that you don't fall out of place, to make sure that you are always in conformity. And when you assess everything that happening around you, that you will be able to deduce from the truth from the lies. This is Truth Channel Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and I want to welcome you as usual and to say please like this video, share on all your social media platforms, and subscribe to this channel if you have not. That is the little we can do to promote the narrative of truth. If we can have truth dominating the media all over the nations of the world, we would definitely be in a better position. Something just came into my mind right now. Yesterday, we received the news of the Russian opposition leader, or one of the opposition men, who died in jail, in the Arctic jail, very far away from Moscow. And he was, according to the report, he was walking, and then he slumped, and then he couldn't be revived. When medical personnel were called, they came there, they couldn't revive him. His name is Alexei Navalny or Navalny or Navalny. I can remember. Anyways, but the surprise here is: have you discovered that there is something wrong in global politics, especially controlled or led by America? America has proven to be very incompetent in global affairs, and it is obvious that even in the Middle East, what is happening between the Palestinians and the the Israelis has shown the incompetence of the American government and their incompetence in leading the global mandate that has been put on their shoulder. And maybe that is why God is doing some stuff to take that from them, because of course it will be taken from them anyways, because the Antichrist will soon be in control, and Antichrist is going to come from Syria, according to the Bible analysis, critical scriptural analysis from Syria, and that's territory, and if that means there's going to be a defeat somewhere, because Antichrist is going to control 10 strong nations, or 10 nations that are going to be under him. He's going to defeat one of them. He's going to defeat three, and the remaining seven are going to subject their crowns to him. I don't want to go into those details because that's not why we are here today. Now, America is proven to be not professional and father to the nations of the world by what they are doing. I remember Hillary Clinton saying something the other time that they should deal with this and all of that, and go to Ukraine and deal with Ukraine. I mean, deal with Russia. They must deal. Now, anybody who is a father-like figure should seek for peaceful resolution in spite of the grossness, in spite of the magnitude of the offense or problems. When a father comes to a place where his children are fighting, the first thing you do is you separate them. And then you sit down to know what is really the problem. And then you now begin to think of resolving. You don't tell them to continue to fight. And then one must beat another. Or maybe you have preference for another one child over the other. And then you have to tell them, no, that one that you love should beat them very well. You now begin to hold the hands of the one that you don't love, hold their hands at their back so that the other one will be blowing them, hitting them, buffeting them, and kicking them, and I mean, doing everything for them. That's what America is doing today. Yes, Palestinians or the Hamas, Palestinians generally don't really like the West. Maybe because over time they have not behaved maturely to handle global issues. If you interview Palestinians, an average Palestinian today feels like they should destroy Israel, they should destroy America, should destroy Britain, destroy Germany, and all those places and all of that. But the truth here is that if the West had behaved maturely or have been behaving maturely, they would have been able to arrest these things properly. You don't, no matter what causes the fight, you should be able to cause peace to reign, not seeking for opportunity to sell more weapons because you must sell weapons because you must make money from weapon delivery and sales and all of that, and then you don't want things to be resolved. Anyways, we're not here to talk about global politics today, but I don't want to talk about this now. My concern here is I was telling you about Alexei Navalny, sorry, Navalny also, that died yesterday. Um, it, it's a concern that he died, but the troubling point here is how come the West, America, Britain, and all other nations are so interested that in on their media platform since yesterday it has been the news, and they keep interviewing people to give their opinion, interviewing those who are going to talk against Russia, talk against Putin, and all of that. Why are they concerned about this man that's died? He's not an American, he's not a German, he's not a Briton, he's a Russian, and he's concerned in the private politics of Russia. Russia have their politics, they play it. The people of Russia should be able to take care of themselves and handle their domestic issues. Why is America so interested? Biden, everybody, Rishi Sunak, everybody talking about this man, and their media platforms since yesterday have been commenting on this man. Now, it is not as if we are saying that his death was right or something. No, the issue here is what is the interest of the West trying to amplify this whole thing as if the man is from their nation. Remember, they have stopped every um, Russian athletes from participating in global activities in music, concerts, and all of that. Every Russian, including the one that owned Chelsea, was removed and the club given to somebody else. Chelsea Football Club. It was given to somebody else. It was owned by a Russian. Every business that belonged to a Russian was taken from them, even those who don't believe in Russia. Their businesses were taken from them. Now, if you now are dealing with Russia because of the war, how come this one now has become so important? What makes him different and so important to you? There's something the West is looking for, and there's something they just want to look for means, every means possible, to indict the Russian nation and indict the president. Russia might not have been doing or is not doing everything right, might not be doing everything right, just like every other nation in the world, it's not doing everything right. We have heard of people who died, the people America sponsored to kill, presidents of America, kill them, different nations kill, and all of that. And when it comes to some other people, it's like they have not committed those crimes before. We are not saying that the crime is normal, it should be normalized. No, but you shouldn't play such kinds of games. Stand for justice and stand for it here and there, even on the two sides of the coin. Don't be partisan. If you want to be a father like personality, if you as an American want to lead, you lead in truth and justice. Anyways, let's come to the discussion of today. First of all, I want to show my deep pain and concern about what is happening to people all over the nations, all over the nations that are trapped in the contraption called Nigeria. I want to also bring to your notice, I came across a particular video of something that happened in Lagos. Lagos, you have different people, different tribes coming together. And I saw this video, and it's from the voiceover. You can tell that it happened February 14th because the guy is actually capturing this from his shop and in Lagos. And what was happening in that video is that there were lots of crowd. I mean, lots of people, a crowd. Sorry, not lots of crowd. Sorry, lots of people gathered at a particular area in Lagos Island, and they were lying queuing for bread, and most of them were being beaten as if they were, I mean, the beating they were receiving will be more than what they can gain as nutrition or as vitality from the bread. I don't know, for God's sake, someone was holding a very big cane. He was flogging them as if they were slaves. You can see what people, an average African, can do to their fellow man because they feel that they are above them. No wonder the slave masters succeeded. No wonder Britain succeeded. No wonder Britain succeeded because they saw that our people were naturally power drunk. When you give them opportunity, they would oppress their own people. So few Britons came in 1841 in the guise of preaching the gospel, and they now began to, of course, in 1870, 70 something, when slavery was abolished. Before it was abolished, they were actually taking our people in mass outside to the Caribbeans, to the Americas, to different places for slavery. Who are those? Who were those helping them? Our people. Now, if you see this video that I'm talking about, you would know why our people are just where they are and why they will not ever succeed unless they have a change of mind. These people were being beaten as if they stole something. Now I'm going to take off my background so that I'll be able to play this for you to see. I'll be able to play this for you to see. I want to play it from the phone, and I want you to see this particular video. Now watch this. Very disheartening, very painful, and watch this. Sorry, let me pause it so that I can put it on so that you can hear the sound. You can hear the sound also from the Bluetooth. Bluetooth mode. Now listen, you're going to hear the voice. Now, why would anybody treat anybody because they are hungry this way? Why would this be? This is a sign and evidence of how our people are ruthless. We are very, our people are ruthless to themselves. Look at the criminal in Finland. I mean, oh my, our people, we are very wicked. Now watch this. When I do to inside Lagos Island, I did the OK Street. Was that Naira bread? Yeah? What are you doing? Trio, I mean, Trio Street for Lagos Island. See as the poor person because of 100 Naira bread. Hey! Nigeria is all spoiled. Too proud. 100 Naira bread. Hey! See. See, this one na Yoruba line, then they flog Yoruba people like this. Yoruba line. See Hausa line for back. See Hausa line for back. See Hausa line for back. Just for them to be online. Yeah? Igbo no dey side o. Igbo no dey. Igbo no dey. We cannot do like this. We cannot do like this. No. Hey, wow. Hey. Hey, wow. This one in front of my shop. Don't be saying a lie. Hey, God damn. God damn. This bread is different whether they flog person like this. Like this morning, early morning, Valentine's Day. And they flog person to collect bread. In front of my shop for Lagos Island, though. Hey, Nigeria, I'm sorry for you. Lagos, sorry for you. Hey. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hey. Oh, wow. Very shameful. Very, very shameful. See. For them to be on queue because of grade 100 naira. See. Hey. See, vlog. Because of 100 naira grade. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. God save us. God save us. Amen. Share like this inside Lagos Island. Now, people will say that Tinubu's austerity measures is causing this kind of situation. What would make anybody pick up cane? Pick up a cane, that kind of cane, this kind, and be flogging hungry people, flogging hungry. And look at the way the guys. Now, what is in the mind of that guy that is flogging those people? What is in his mind? Give that person the position of Tinubu, that person will kill everybody. I'm not justifying Tinubu here. Of course, the government is flawed. It's a criminal government. Anything that has to do with Nigeria is criminal. But now, look at it critically. This one is given an opportunity to to help people access bread to eat. Now he is there tormenting the people, torturing them because he wants to give them bread, because they're going to give them bread. He's flogging them, he's dealing with them. I mean, now when you give these kinds of people opportunity to lead, what do you think is going to happen? That is why we have to check ourselves. That is why we have to check ourselves. Because the truth about it is that there is this inherent thing about us, inherent wickedness about us, that when we have opportunity, we want to capitalize on it and defraud other people, oppress other people. We want to just get people to be under us. Only what we do for freedom, and what do we need to do for freedom? To check ourselves, to get ourselves in the right frame of mind. That was why Mazin Namdekano took his time to teach, but yet because of the wickedness of the heart of some of our people, they couldn't digest the information Mazin Namdekano was passing on to us. And so they fell victim of criminals like Simon Ekpa and other people. That is why. What would make anybody feel that he's getting freedom because somebody is taking his details online? Now, what would make anybody think that he is getting freedom because someone comes on social media and tell you he has a Biafra government in exile and forms a cabinet and tells you that he wants to declare Biafra in Finland? Now, what would make you believe anybody who tells you to be contributing money, that he's getting weapons, he's going to stop election in Biafra land? Now, did you know from his today's post, he claimed that he actually stopped election in Biafra land? Now let me show you. Some of you say, "Oh, he didn't know why. Why are you saying this?" I'm not going to say anything that I don't have evidence of. So, from him, you get all the evidences from the criminals themselves. Now he said um, he actually captured a particular, my background will not make you see this thing very well. That's why I always remove it when I want to show you this. Now he actually captured a particular program, which he posted this video. I think about let me say what time I can't find that. Okay, I think this morning, and today, of course, 17th of February. Now, and what he did was this: he captured a video of a lady who was complaining about what the Nigeria contraption has done and the suffering. And the lady was saying that she's going to go naked and abuse and curse Tinubu and curse the government and all of that. And she was talking and she was that and all of that. Of course, he likes all those kinds of things to post them to make you begin to compliment whatever he's doing. You go to Zodogu, yes, Wokike, yes, Ano Oronko, and all of that. All those stuff. Now he look at this. Look at the video I'm talking about. Go to Twitter, you'll see it. Go on your Twitter handle, you'll see this particular stuff. Now you see this video he played. Now look at what he wrote. He said, breaking. Everything is breaking. I don't know what is breaking. Biafrans, praise God. It is happening. Our plan is working. Oh, what is your plan that is working? That's the question any reasonable person will ask. What is your plan that is working? The reason we stopped Nigeria fraudulent election in Biafra land is working. Oh Lord have mercy. Did you stop election in Biafra land? That becomes the question. Oh my God. The truth here, all of you know, election was held in Biafra land. Election was held uninterrupted without any hitch. But he is telling people today that the reason they stopped Nigeria fraudulent election in Biafra land is working. That means psychologically, he wants to use this video as a way of passing a false narrative, brainwashing, deception. See, the game of deception is massive and it is utilized by dictators, by criminals everywhere, including people who want to manipulate truth. Go to the Bible, you see people using the scripture, the Bible manipulated it, just like Britain manipulated it to compose a religion and to hijack our minds so that whatever they do, we always seek to want to be, we just want to take things and swallow them the way they are. Now, what will make this guy tell you that they plan, the reason they plan this stuff now? What is the reason? Now, he's trying to tell you that they only stopped the election not because they could break Nigeria. No, but so that people will start complaining and people with their own hands will begin to talk about breaking, which means he knows he doesn't have the ability to stop or disintegrate Nigeria. So what he's now telling you is that the reason why he talked about stopping election is because he knows election will not be stopped. He only knows that people will now start complaining about the situation, that after the election they will start complaining. So that means all those shouting of no election was not real. The whole thing is that he knew elections were going to hold because he doesn't have what it takes to stop them, to stop the election from holding. But the only thing that will happen is that he knows that once someone is voted in, they will start complaining, and then their complaining will be the reason why they will start thinking of breaking up, or people will be talking about let's break up, let's do go our way, let's do this, and all of that, and inciting problems. As we told you initially, remember that 150 days was composed. Now, let me tell you people have to be reasonable and fast in reasoning. When he composed that 150 days, he extended it up beyond, sorry, if you remember, he extended it beyond the 25th of February, which was the election day. He extended it 8 days after, if you remember, the 150 days. Now, the reason why it was extended 8 days after was this. There was a calculation he made. He knew he was not going to be able to stop election in Biafra land. He knew that. So all the monies you were given to him, they were not meant to stop election in Biafra land. They were just something here in Azuka. Till today, they are still looting from you and stealing from you and playing pranks on you and collecting. Now, the plan here is the 150 days was a calculation, his own criminal calculation, trying to play smart on you. So what he did was this: 8 days after the election, there was going to be extra 8 days before the 150 days will lapse. And he's telling you that by the end of the 150 days, Nigeria will disintegrate. He thought there was going to be commotion because there was definitely, we all know that there's going to be rigging and they will rig Tinubu in. And that was the program. He thought that once they announced within that 8 days, the result would have been announced. Peter will be people as they have been talking, threatening. They have weapons, they have everything. They will make sure they fight. He thought everyone will come out en masse and start fighting, and everywhere will be in commotion and fire. And then he will now begin to make it look like it is he that actually started it and he'll tell you his men are at work and his men are fighting hard. The plan is for the people by themselves to set their own house on fire. That's what the plan is. Now, don't this particular post of today justify that narrative I made last year? Now, let me tell you how it justifies that narrative. He says now, breaking. Now, listen, look at it. If you go to the Twitter handle, you will see this particular post where a lady is talking angrily and on Simon Epper's platform, talking angrily. It's a video, and she's talking angrily. She's talking about how they are going to curse the Nigerian government. They're going to curse Tinubu. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, and all of that. They'll get naked and do this. And now, he now tells you here now that Biafrans, praise God, it is happening. Our plan is working. What is your plan? Reasonable people will ask, what is your plan? Because this video you posted here does not look like any plan that has to do with Biafra. It has to do with someone complaining about Nigeria. So, what is that plan that is you are talking about here? From his statement, you got to understand the plan. He said, the reason we stopped Nigeria fraudulent, he didn't say the reason why we tried to stop, because he knows that he has already played fast on you and told you that they actually stopped the election. So he wants to keep that narrative consistent, meaning that the result of the reason why he proclaimed that thing happened, even if the election was not totally stopped, indirect way of manipulating you, the gullible ones, and direct way of using deception to bamboozle you. Now listen, he said the reason we stopped Nigeria fraudulent election is in Biafra land is working. Now, what's this video telling us? The video is telling us about a lady talking about everybody going on the streets and rioting and all of that and all of that. So which means that 150 days calculation I told you about was true, because he thought there was going to be commotion and all of that. It didn't happen then. Now this lady is screaming and talking, and women are talking, and when women start talking like this, you know that they can do anything, they can die for it. Now he feels that this is when it's going to happen, and there will be commotion very soon. Tinubu's government will keep doing the worse and worse and worse, and then they are going to have this commotion. Now you can imagine that the reason and the purpose of that 150 days count and no election in Biafra land was just to make people, just to cash into the situation of people's rioting, or people getting angry and reacting for the election being rigged, and them seeking justice for themselves. Now you see, he now said everything happening now is for the interest of Biafra freedoms. Okay. So what about the election you said is going to stop? You're going to stop. So it was not actually meant to stop. It was just, you're just waiting for these kinds of time when people will start revolting. Then you will now say, okay, it's okay. So why are we contributing monies and giving to you? Fellow citizens of Biafra, as Afonjas are crying. Every time people are crying, crying. Nonsense talk. Very, very childish talk. People are crying. What are they crying about? And he wants to show proof tough. Now, somebody tells you that it is happening now for the interest of Biafra freedom. That means the whole monies you have been contributing is actually not for that purpose. He is still waiting for people on their own to revolt. So he's praying that Tinubu will continue to do the worst things, so that you and I will come out of the street and start fighting and start screaming and start working against the whole thing and bring down everything. And then there will be commotion. The military will come out, the police will come out everywhere. There'll be commotion, and then there'll be an outcry, and then everywhere will burn. And then he will now say, yes, he did it. He will now take glory for that outcry. So, why then are you contributing money? So, the monies you're contributing, what are they being used for? Few men in all are given weapons, given clothes to wear, sew uniforms, given weapons, given bullets always. And that is what they are sustaining, calling it an army. Have you ever heard of that army in any other part of Biafra land? They don't exist. The crowd you saw the other day, they now give people cloth, so cloth, and give them money. They all came out and they said they are Biafra army. Have you ever seen anything happening anywhere else except Olo, Ihiala, and Okigwe, and all those places? Those places that are just connected to, the same environment. Have you ever heard anything happening again in Abia by them? They can't go to Abia to do anything because they know that they will just kill all of them. Have you ever heard anything happening in even Ebonyi, or even you know Iwacha? Have you ever heard anything happening in Cross River, Akwa Ibom, all those places? Bayelsa. Have you ever heard anything? And he's telling you that he wants to declare the Lord of mercy. He wants to declare Biafra in 10 months. And he's planning the event in Finland. Now, today he said more oil pipelines will go down between now and next week. That's what he posted today. Today, February 16th. Okay, yesterday, February 16th, he posted this around some minutes to 8 Biafra time, 10 minutes to 8 p.m. Biafra time. He said more oil. And funny enough, people will say they will lead to many damages. People will say Operation Burn Down Nigeria declared by. They just compliment him. Now, let me show you some stuff, because sometimes I just you know laugh at our people. Now, There's a funny, before I go to that funny stuff, let me read out this one. Now, he posted a particular video here. I don't know why did I go back. I still need to be showing you guys here. Sorry, it's not a video anyway, it's an audio. I'm sorry, a picture showing you his men. They just tell them to lie down, and then when they lie down, they snap them, and then they send the picture to him, and he sends the picture to you, and you begin to jubilate. And only few people, some people don't bother to comment. It's only the regular people that are commenting on his platform who are morons that keep commenting. People who are reasonable just sit and watch. We just all of us we just keep watching, we read, and we smile. We look at the comments, we smile. Now he posts this in the bush. He didn't post this thing around the place the armor tanks were taken over. He didn't post tell all these men to stand where the armor tanks have been burnt, where the armor tanks have been destroyed, or where the armor tanks, he said in Olu, they have driven them, they have burnt about 15 tanks. He didn't tell his men to stand by the tanks and snap and send to him so that he can post them to you, where it will show the rubbles of the tank or the wastes or the of the tanks that were burnt. They went to bush, they lie down on the floor, and one of their men snapped them and they forward them to him, and then they post them online. Then he now says the Biafra Liberation Army defending Biafra land, the water army of Biafra. They are now in war front, over 500 Zoo terrorists down. Give them a shout out. They are lying down in the bush. This one is critically inside of the bush, not where the tanks are. Not in Olu where the tanks were, where he was showing you the video. Not in Ihiala where the tanks are still there now as we talk, as we speak. Not in those places where they said they have burnt down the tanks and they have destroyed tanks. Nothing shown to you from that place. He's telling you here now that they are fighting water, and they have brought down 500. So do you know what? Do you know what it means? 500 people dead, and no Biafran anywhere is seeing them. Do you know what it means for 10 people to be dead in a place? Not to talk about 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Do you know the number? If you gather 500 in a hall, do you know how many they are? And he said they are down, but yet nobody could get a, a picture of their corpse, other than the ones that maybe they ambush some people and they kill 3 or 4 of them inside of the van, and then they send the picture, and then they now tell you what is happening here. Now, interestingly, somebody says, why is the person Africa Teshi? That's what the person the name here. The person now says something critical. He said, why no one else talking about this? Not even the locals. No one is talking about this. Not even the locals. Somebody now replies him and say, your guess is as good as mine. Now Washi, that Finland guy, they use industrial hypo on Igbos. You know what hypo is? That's a bleach. And they collect funds anyhow. See, reasonable people know the game that is being played. And they would continue to look at the whole thing until the eyes of all these ones are open. Why snap in the bush and send us pictures? Why not go to the tanks that you said you've blown and some of the bodies and stand? They have killed your people before, and they stand there showing the world that they have killed your people. Why not also show the world that you're killing their people and you have killed 10? Show the 10 bodies and 20 bodies or 100 bodies and show your men around there and screaming and telling the Nigerian army to come again. Threaten them to come. Show that, because you say you're in the warfare, you don't hide anything. You show that you are winning. That's what it's done. You show you're winning. I don't know. Just come and be manipulating people on social media. Now, the game of deception and continuous manipulation is uses the tool of continuity or consistency to keep the people continually brainwashed and continually busy with believing the criminal who is in charge of the deception or who is carrying out the deception. For instance, if you check the Nigerian narrative today, what the politicians do is they keep bringing up stories and all of that. Tinubu has come up with one story now. It was reported on Sahara Reporters that they want to open the file of Delegiwa's death. And everybody around will say yes, yes, yes. People, when they give you hunger, they look for something to distract you. You'll be screaming under that hunger. Now the criminal also knows this tactics. That is why you see him on social media every moment posting, watching videos. All he does is watch videos and post, nothing else. Anybody who travels abroad, you know how it means. You know what it means. Even Mazin Abikano himself, he doesn't post like this because you know why? He is busy doing other things. He's a professional. Those who live abroad, they work different jobs, some 3 jobs, 2 jobs, 5 jobs. No, well, no, I don't think some work 5 jobs, anyways. 2, 3 jobs to make ends meet. If he is working like that in Finland, because he is not in his own land, he is in a foreign land where he is, and the kind of job you can do there is a job that you will hustle very well and you will have to work hard. If he's working hard, he will not have time to be posting every 30 minutes or every moment and watching different kinds of videos and posting. He's feeding fat on your stupidity. I'm talking to those who are allowing him to feed fat on them. Now look at what he said. The Biafra Republic government in exile wished to inform Biafrans that the Biafra liaison office in Finland, through the Biafra Prime Minister, who is resident in Finland, has also officially submitted a recognition request to the Finnish government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs ahead of Biafra declaration later this year. Stay now. Where does this kind of thing happen? In the first place, you said you are submitting letter of recognition. If you are submitting a letter of recognition, on what basis are they recognizing you? That's the big question. On what basis? Because now even the United Nations that this Finland government belong to has not even recognized you, because they would first of all, they all belong to the United Nations. They will on that basis accept and recognize you. You don't write letter privately to them to recognize you. And if you have been telling us you have been having meetings with them all this while, and you are now allies with them, you said Finnish government has accepted, and the other time he posted it last year that Finnish government has endorsed Biafra, supporting Biafra, and all of that. He said he has written to many some, and he has gotten allies of different nations. He said he now has allies. None of those allies have commented on the referendum, the so-called self-referendum. They have not commented. They have not said anything. You know why I keep giving narrative about this guy? Because he is playing smart on most of you, and sometimes because we keep quiet, he thinks it is fine. He doesn't know people are thinking very well, and people are vast in knowledge. So I need to be helping you reason. That's why I keep, as much as I broadcast and do other things, I'll still keep you understanding what is happening by opening the facts from his submissions to you and putting your mind in the perspective of understanding this whole stuff. Now, he said officially has some officially submitted. So the former discussion he had with Finland government, which he said that they have acknowledged Biafra and the Biafra Republic government in exile. What is that? Was it an unofficial declaration or an unofficial submission or recognition or alliance? Because if you tell us then that you have actually met the government of Finland and you've discussed, and then they have enough, recognized you, recognized your government, recognized what you're doing, and now you're telling us now that you just you just officially submitted a recognition request to the Finnish government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs ahead of Biafra declaration. That means you are submitting the document for them to recognize Biafra as a nation, and not that they are going to recognize Biafra as a nation in your nation where you are, where you're going to stay to declare it. You are going to be inside and telling them to recognize the nation that you are not in under you. And initially, you told us that you have met some government and they have recognized you. So, which one is this official? The ones they did previously, or the ones you sent to them initially, were they not official? You guys should be thinking. Now he posted this. He posted so many so that his people will jubilate. Now, let me tell you, you will discover that none of them will endorse this stuff. Let's just say he said breaking. We informed reference that the liaison office in Belgium, no liaison office, it's just one human being he has there, or 1, 2, 3 people who are there who would use them. They tell you they are the liaison office. How many of you have seen any of the liaison office function is due? How many of you have seen any of those liaison offices he's talking about functioning, including the one he said he acquired, the house he said he acquired in Maryland, USA? Have you ever seen its functioning office? People coming in there, seeking, making, submissions, making requests, and making, carrying out correspondence and all of that. Have you ever seen anything? But all they do is snap pictures, show you chairs. They'll set the chairs, arrange the chairs. When they go to Maryland, or number two of that house, which somebody is living now, when the time comes, the chairs they have arranged in the chairs, in the box is kept somewhere. They bring them out, they set them, they snap picture, and they show you now something is about to happen here. And then that is all. You don't see the program, they don't show you the video of the program. Lord have mercy. Our people, please, our people should. That's why I said the details of only what we need to do for freedom is the correction of the madness in our brains. We need to get back to form. We need our minds to be reformed and get back to the understanding, the spirit that Mazin Amkano was trying to implant in us, to have a very constructive way of reasoning and to be able to reason effectively and very, very effectively at that. They set those chairs. Every time they set chairs, they snap pictures. They capture the place, show you pictures on the walls and all of that. They don't show you the event. Hold it later. They don't show you activities going on regularly in a normal working day in those lesson offices. Which all lesson office do you have that becomes a locked place? Every day is locked. One day they show you video, and they show you video of pictures on the wall and chairs arranged. They tell you they want to do some stuff, and then that's the end. And you don't see any activities. No activities going on as usual. Because they know that once they show you, the next thing you will hail them, and then you'll believe, and then that chapter closes, nobody talks about it, then they distract you with something else. Post something else and distract you. Now you said the liaison office in Belgium. Which liaison? There's no liaison office in Belgium, but it tells you that it is there. Anyways, let's believe that the person who is in Belgium is the person who is called the liaison office. The liaison office is the person. Request to the Belgian government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I heard who is Foreign Affairs. One person they appointed on audio, person they appointed on social media. He now posted another one. The Netherlands has also officially submitted a recognition, blah, 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 blah. He now posted another one. The liaison office in Germany, the German government has submitted to German government through the Foreign Affairs ahead of BIAFRA declaration later this year. Our official Liberation Army cap no be here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Childish operations and behaviors. I want to tell you guys, see, the purpose of today's broadcast, I just had to give you this analysis so that we can look at things in perspective to what the role we play as individuals. Because the truth about it is that as individuals, we have messed up. We are not very, very, very constructive in our approach to this matter of our freedom. Let me tell you, we have lost some of the gains we made when Mazin Amdekano was here. As I speak to you right now, we have lost some gains. We need to do lots of work to bounce back. That will happen when Mazin Amdekano comes out now, or we now decide to do things that would bring him out. Let me tell you something. You see, the world's strategy for freedom and activities and all of that is one-sided. And the strategy everybody knows is to go and get army, to get weapons and go and fight. That is the strategy people know. But let me tell you something. God knew that he didn't need to give the people during the Tower of Babel stuff. He didn't need to give them weapons to start killing themselves. All he needed to do is to divide them, and he will weaken them and they will disperse. And what did God do? They were together building. After building the tower, building Babel, the nation of Babel, which Nimrod presided over and was the king, the controller. They now faced the tower. That tower was going to be the highest or the tallest building in that. They have built the city already. But the tower itself was what they were going to build so that it will be a central point of reference to the God they worship. On top of the tower, there's going to be the star and other things, there's the shape of the moon and other things that are critical of today's pagan worship, because Nimrod's worship or style of worship or Nimrod's cult has evolved over the years in different nations of the world today. That is where they got it from. That's why you see many nations of the world, their operations are similar. Their worship, their style of worship, and their way of worshiping, religious worship is similar. Sign of the cross, use of penances, and all of this stuff. These are pagan way of worship from the Nimrodic cult. Now, what did God do to divide them? God just set confusion so that they will not be in one accord. How was God able to restore and to sustain the narrative of the gospel of Christ all over the nations of the world today? Just by some men being in the upper room in Acts chapter 2, verse 2, and the Spirit of God, the wind, and all of that, the fire of God came down as a cloven tongue on them each, and then they were filled with the Spirit, and then they became bold. They started speaking the word. They were united in one accord in that place. There are some ways we must begin to make research and know how to strategically get our freedom. In the current day or in the current world we are in, nobody wants to take gun and go and attack any nation again because it's going to raise lots of controversies and all of that. And some nations are ready to fight people who do that. So what we have now is tactical slavery. And let me tell you, you don't need to take guns and go and attack to get freedom. No. All you need to do is apply strategic programs that will bring you and your people together. Once you are united, the enemies will be afraid. Once you are united, I tell you, oh my God, people will not understand what I'm saying. I pray some of you understand. What we need to do now to free Mazin Namdekano and to set the pace for our freedom is to bring up a program, which, of course, I have strategically put together the narrative of that program. And with your input and our input together, we can build on the strategy that I have put together. And other people too have in their mind. We bring them together. We now form a particular front and enhance it, amplify it, and you will see the program would bring us together strategically. I don't want to say some things because you don't want to open some stuff for your enemies. You know, the program will bring us together in the unity of development, developing our land. I tell you, it is strategic. It is not just about developing our land. No, it is strategic because of the nature of the strategy for the nation development, for the development of our communities. It's very, very strategic. By the time we do that, even the president of Nigeria will release Mazi Nnamdi without any talk. We give them ultimate. We tell them we want this man released. They will release him because they know that now that we have succeeded in doing this particular, carried out this particular strategy, and it has put us together strongly. We can do anything. We can move mountains. It's not when somebody just stands up, spoils, trying to destroy the ESN, destroy what Mazin Amdekano has done, and then set his own militia group, and then give them guns and begin to make noise on social media and begin to try to make you feel like they are busy and giving you results, whereas they are manipulating you, extorting you, and messing you up, showing that you are not intelligent. You might be smart, but you're not intelligent. The problem about smart people is that they always want to behave smartly and they get defrauded, but they are not intelligent enough to understand how to apply smartness. That's the problem. And that's the problem of most Biafrans. We are so smart but we're not intelligent enough to know, to be able to apply the narrative of smartness. Smartness on itself, in its own, is smartness. But intelligence is what uses its features to regulate smartness for wisdom to be accomplished. That's it. It regulates it in wisdom and gives you a very powerful result. It gives you a very powerful result. Now, we need to free Mazin Namdekano and free ourselves is very simple. It comes with challenges, yes, but it's very simple. It is not, we are in a world today, the world we're in today has nothing to do with that kind of force. There are different ways of approaching force. It is not those times where people, the British came into the space of the indigenous people and then took people into slavery and all those times where there were just an invasion, people just go and invade a place and take control. Those days are gone. We're living in a very unique generation. And except we approach it uniquely in this strategy, it must not be by carrying guns up and down and manipulating people, collecting monies from them and deceiving ourselves. No, it must not be that way. There are ways of doing things better. Mazin and Ghana will be freed, and we all will be freed. All we need to do is to agree to come together. To agree to come together. And this is why we all must begin to understand the details of the thing we need to do for our freedom. Details of only what we do for freedom is we change our mindset. The mind is a fundamental tool in the approach to everything that has to do with life. And God has given us multifaceted way of solving problems. God has given us the wisdom to be able to devise means of dealing with circumstances. When you have one approach that is not working, you can also try another approach. That is how it works. We have utilized one method of trying to free ourselves. We keep having the same situation, we keep having the same frustration, we keep having the same result. We need to change tactics. And changing tactics means learning, getting experience from the former results, and by wisdom applying it in a different pattern to suit the current strategic plan that we have so that we can get good result. And wisdom is profitable to direct. Wisdom is profitable. We have to understand this. It's very, very important that we understand this. Except you understand this, we'll keep doing the same thing. You keep shouting Odogu. You keep shouting, hey, strong man. Hey, you keep shouting, you keep inhaling, and they'll keep sapping. It is time we come together for the sake of our freedom and for the purpose of the freedom of Mazin and Mikano. It's time we come together. When we come together, we can then be united in one ideology. Yes, we know that we're seeking for freedom, and freedom goes by force, with force. The truth about it is that the force you need, there's some wisdom ways that you apply that is in itself force without lifting any gun, without lifting any weapon. It becomes force. Because in that mood, you will defeat the enemy hands down. The world will be looking and say, no, you can't attack these people. You can't attack them because what they have done, they have not done. And once they do that, they know that the world will come against them. We have nations like Russia, China, and all of that that are coming strongly now, forming the BRICS nations, and all of that, doing well. Today, their overall, um, you know, stuff is about 34% plus, and all of that, up from the 16% as at 1990 something, 92, 93, or 90 something, and all of that. I can remember. We must understand that we have to change tactics. It is time to change tactics. We can't continue to do the same thing the same way and trying to get results. You can't allow yourself to continue to be defrauded every time they're defrauding you. Every time they're defrauding you, get sense, or must become the cash cow for other people every time. Every time you are the cash cow for them. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Look at the manipulation. Look at the manipulation that's going on. You guys must begin to reason very strongly. You guys must begin to reason. And it is very important. By God's grace, from next week, we're going to now start talking strategically about this whole thing and seeing that we get ourselves informed with basic narratives that would help us to grow and do what we have to do. I want to thank you guys today. This is a weekend, maybe it's morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. Network signal. I'm back. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Those of you watching, I don't know those who are here now, but I know some people are watching, and those who are going to watch later. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend, and please, I beg you, I want you to, I want you to, enjoy your weekend, and please be optimistic. Don't be carried away by the crowd. Don't be carried away by the crowd. Everybody, if you can't beat them, join them. Don't need for all those nonsense. That's the brain and the mentality of people who don't have what it takes. People who don't, what they have and what they carry. They're people of low mental strength. People who have self-esteem problem. Low self-esteem. That's what they say. If you can't beat them, you join them. Join them. Everybody's joining this one, then we join. No, you don't need that. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I pray that this new week will be a blessing for you as much as you work towards it and make it grand for yourself. Thank you so much, all, and may Chukwukike protect us all, protect Mazin Namdekano, keep him safe, and bring him back to us. Bring him back to us. We need Mazin Namdekano to come back to us. We need him to come back to us. When he comes back, lots of things will be in place and re-strategized and repositioned. And this is very, very important for us. And I pray that Chukwukike will help us in this regard. I want to thank you guys and say God bless you. Really good. Stay safe. Enjoy your day, your night, or whatever time it is. Thank you. God bless you. Really good.